Hey guys, this is Coach Lowe and this is Contextual Geometry, and we are going to talk about circumference of circles. So this is 11.5, circumference of a circle. All right, let's get started. So in a circle, we've talked about chords and we've talked about the diameter and we've talked about the radius, all kinds of good stuff. So now let's talk about measuring the outside. So when we talk about circumference of a circle, think about the C and going all the way around. So circumference of the circle measures the distance all the way around the circle. So we are going to, nice fill color. I don't want fill color. Thank you very much. I want the line color. All right, so measuring all the way around will give us the circumference. So the way that we figure out what the circumference is the circumference is either pi times the diameter, so diameter being all the way across and then multiply that by pi, or 2 times the radius times pi, or 2 pi r is usually how we see it. But just remember that 2 times the radius is the same thing as the diameter. So that's why you can use either one of those formulas. So if they give you the diameter, multiply by pi and you've got the circumference. If you give you the radius, double it, multiply by 2, and then multiply it by pi. The other cool thing you could do is if they give you the circumference, we can solve for the radius. So if they give me the circumference, solving for the radius, remember pi is a number, irrational number, but about 3.14. You have that button on your calculator. So we can divide both sides by 2 pi or by pi to find the diameter if we need the diameter. All right, so let's say that we're given a circle and the radius of the circle is 8 feet. So I'll go ahead and draw that on here real quick. Radius of the circle is 8 feet. And we want to find the circumference to the nearest tenth. All right, so let's go ahead and write down our formula. We are given the radius, so 2 pi times the radius means the circumference is 2 times pi times 8, or we know multiplication is commutative, so we can switch places with all of those. And so the circumference can also be written as 16 pi. So we can switch places with the pi and the 8 and make this 16 pi. So if they want an exact value, and this was in feet, by the way. So if they want an exact value here, 16 pi feet, or in our case, they said round to the nearest tenth. So that means we can take 16 times pi on our calculator and then go ahead and round that to the nearest tenth. So 50.2654 is what my calculator came up with. Rounding to the nearest tenth means we look at this number and we're going to switch this one, right? So 50.3, go ahead and round up, feet is the circumference. So if the radius is 8, the distance around about 50.3. All right, let's try another one. Another one, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you that the diameter of a plastic pipe is 5 centimeters. So here's the diameter going all the way across, 5 centimeters. Find the circumference to the nearest centimeter. So we want the circumference of this pipe, so going all the way around to the nearest centimeter. So we know that circumference is pi times the diameter. So the circumference is pi times 5, or 5 pi. So 5 times pi, and we're rounding this to the nearest centimeter. So I'm getting on my calculator 15.7079 and so on. Rounding to the nearest centimeter means we're going to round to the nearest whole number. So we're rounding this one and looking at this one. So the circumference is about 16 centimeters. All right, last one. All right, so a circular garden has a radius of 20 feet. So let's go ahead and draw a picture of that. Circular garden, radius of 20 feet. There is a path around the garden that is 3 feet wide. So path around the garden, 3 feet wide. So let's get the circle over here. Get it around the garden. Come on. All right, so this section right here, 3 feet. All right. It says Jasmine stands on the inside edge of the path and Rajesh stands on the outside of the path. They each walk around the garden exactly once while staying along their edge of the path. To the nearest foot, how much farther does Rajesh walk than Jasmine? So Jasmine is walking this path. Rajesh is walking this path. So how much further does he have to walk than she does? All right, so we need circumference because we're talking about walking all the way around. So let's do the blue circle. Let's go ahead and make this circle blue. This will be Jasmine's circle. And let's make the outside circle red. This will be Rajesh's circle. All right, so for Jasmine, 2 pi times the radius, because we're given the radius. So the circumference is 2 pi times 20, or 40 pi. And let's go ahead and get a number for that. So 40 times pi is about 125.66 feet. And then Rajesh, let me change my color to red here for him. 2 pi times the radius is the circumference. So 2 pi. Now the red circle, here's the center. The red circle goes all the way to here. So its radius is 23. So the circumference is 46 pi. So 46 times pi, and we'll approximate that, 144.51. And now we'll subtract Jasmine's. So subtract 125.66. And Rajesh has to walk about 18.9 feet. All right, guys, that's about it for today. This is Coach Lowe, and I'm out.